What are you doing here? It's 3:45. You weren't supposed to be here till 4. I don't know what to do with you guys. Anyway, hola, Chef here. This is the first segment in the main segment of this channel, which I will, from here on out, refer to as my journey to becoming a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player. I would like this episode in particular to be about my history in this game, which is that I really don't have any merits to my name. I've been playing this game since 2002, just before it came out. I used to live across the street from this card shop, and all the older kids in my neighborhood went to this card shop, and I was 7.5 at the time, and little 7-year-old me would follow the big kids along to the card shop across the street, where I used to buy my comics and play Pokemon, both the video game and the card game. They were trying and failing absolutely miserably to teach me Magic the Gathering, which I wasn't really getting all that well, and it didn't really have the boy game like Pokemon did that really got me into Pokemon back then. I still play Pokemon. I love the games. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the card game I fell in love with. They were playing with foreign cards, I would presume Japanese. It was before it came out in North America. And they taught me how to play. Not very well, because they weren't very good either. But, I was 7.5, and I fell hard for this game. I actually got in trouble because I started saving all my lunch money. Lunch was $1.75, so I always got a handful of quarters for lunch for my mom. And I started saving them for a week, and after a week of not eating lunch, my school called my mom and was like, your son hasn't been eating lunch lately. Is there something wrong? They were worried because it was affecting me. I was being famished later in class. Yeah, I know. I stopped eating lunch, right? I more than made up for it. But I ended up cleaning out someone's basement so long ago. I think it was my grandfather's basement. Probably was. I did that a few times. But I got to keep all the bottles and cans, so the beer bottles and everything from down there, and got to return them all, which was $40 in recyclables. And I couldn't even return them all at once, but I did. Over time, returned them. I could only get $12 a day for them. And I spent every last penny on it on Legend of Blue Eyes and made the shittiest deck ever. Maneater Bug was my boss monster. It was my favorite card. Just fucked everyone over. It was spot removal. I ran it, and I ran Dark Hole, because I didn't pull Raigeki. I pulled Dark Hole. I did not pull Raigeki originally. But I got super into the game. There have been times since where I had to stop playing. I amassed quite the collection, and then it got destroyed, which is a story that I'll tell you another time. But I've never been able to do anything in this game, really. I never really considered myself good. The most competitive thing I've ever done in 15.5 years of playing this game is I've gone to 2 OTS championships, and only in this past year. I never really had the time or means to travel to events such as regionals or YCSs. It just wasn't feasible for me, but as of now, it's more reasonable for me to do so. I have more flexibility. So, I've got my first regional actually coming up in a couple days here, in Brooklyn. And I have a YCS. I'm going to YCS San Diego, which should be a lot of fun. Yeah. But Man-Eater Bug is my boss monster. No. Mm-mm. But, I'm not going to say what I'll be playing, but that is, that recipe will be coming, Chef can't give away all the secrets. I mean, Chef can't tell you, the recipe for the meal before you try it. It's got to be tested. Make sure the spice is right. But yeah, that's how I got started in the game. I have played competitive decks, like, historically. I mean, I literally had Teledad. Me and my friend had Teledad. We didn't really pay for it much out of pocket, because he was a little bit more well off than I was, because he had two parents, but I was really low middle class, and I didn't really have much to go on. And, like, most of what we got for that deck, we got through credit. Because I picked up a ton of, I remember, I forget when it came out, but I remember back when Solemn Judgment was like fucking $5 a copy, and I saw that and I was like, $5, $5, $5, $5, $5, thank you, $5, $5, $5. I picked up so fucking many of those. I forget if that was around that time, but I remember that. I remember having like 3 pages back and front of just Solemn Judgments. And I would sell them for so much. So much. I gave people fair deals on it, considering I got them for $5 a piece, though. I think I was selling them maybe at like 60% value, or something like that, at the time. But most of the Teledad deck came from selling a lot of our own cards, paying some out of pocket, and just amassed credit from the years leading up to that. That locals closed a long time ago, but I've been going to locals over the past 2 years again. And while I'm not good at the game, I've done fairly well on a local level. From the last week of March 2016 all the way to the first week of February 2017, I topped every single week first or second place at my locals. After that, I wasn't able to go to a locals again until the end of March. End of March, I believe it was. Whenever the OTS was in like March or February, I went to that. And I believe I went X3 out of 5 rounds, which was it was painful, especially since one of the games I lost because I hardcore misplayed. And I knew it too, because I literally said out loud, that's a scythe he would have activated by now if it wasn't. I was playing ABCs at the time. Yeah, I know. It's ABCs. But I summoned the Direwolf after saying this, and use the direwolf effect. I wanted to use it on the kaiju, but I said the back row, and I knew it was a scythe, and I was immediately like, what have I done? I knew it was a scythe. You even looked it up, special summoned it, it was a scythe. I knew it was a scythe, because he would have used it on the previous turn against when I summoned Buster. If it was a strike, you know, or he'd use it on Buster's effect to tag out if it was a strike, because it's been there for 2 turns. But yeah. The other 2 games I just got outplayed completely. But that game, I could have won that game. Sad days. But yeah. I ended up stopping going to that locals though, and went to the other one that the OTS I just mentioned that was held. And there were a lot better, more competitive players there. I've won a couple tournaments there, and I've topped a few tournaments there, but not consistently. But at the same time, I haven't gone consistently, because it's over half an hour drive away, and I don't really have a regular ride there. I did have a regular ride there, but that person can't go every Saturday now, and on top of that, I have some beef with some people that are in that car that we don't talk about because this ain't no drama channel. So yeah. But that's basically my my history in this game. I've played for 15 years, 15 and a half really. I have no accomplishments in it whatsoever, unless you count like topping like a 30-man local on a regular basis for over half a year, for almost a whole year really, for 11 months straight. Only like 10, just over 10. But yeah, that's where we're starting off from. I fully expect to go like X8 at this regional. I don't expect to do well, but I expect to learn something. Other than that, I'm bad at this game. Anyway, see you next time. Peace.